Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I'm going to do something today that people have been asking me for a while. I've got the Zino Mini Pro. I've updated it to the latest firmware. Had to pull the note out of my pocket to remember what those numbers are, but the drone has been updated to version 1.4.2, and basically it said it corrected the bit rate, whatever that means. If it helps to improve what I've seen as frame dropping in the video, that'd be a good thing. And then the transmitter was upgraded to version 1.1.7, and I'll put that up on the screen as well. And what they said there is that optimized the battery life, I think it said, for the transmitter. So, you know, all those are good things. What I would hope to see from this drone is an improvement in video quality in that regard, with no more jello, and just an improvement in the overall sharpness of the video. There's actually been a couple of firmware updates since the last time I flew it, so anyway, let's just see how it does. I'm out at Julius Kleiner Park in Meridian. It's a sunny, somewhat cold day today. I'll put UAV forecast up on the screen. Just a tiny bit of wind, not bad at all. Perfect time for a flight. You're going to see the ice starting to melt on the ponds and so forth. But let's take this guy up and let's hope for some improvement in video quality, and hopefully no more jello or shakes in the gimbal. So let's quit messing around. Let's get this bird in the air. Hey, okay, the drone is reporting ready to fly. I did a compass calibration and I did a gimbal calibration, just to let you know what's going on. So we're going to take off first and then we will start video. So let's just do a manual takeoff. Both sticks out on the Zino, starts the motors, and then up on the left stick. And this guy is always pretty stable. And there we've got FPV, so let's go ahead and switch it into video mode. And it's moving towards me a little bit. I'm going to move it out just a little bit, move it forward. It was kind of moving back there. Okay, so let's take a look at the video menu, and yeah, we're just going to leave it, for all intents and purposes here, we're going to leave everything in automatic. We're in 4K 30. And we're going to leave the bit rate. Well, yeah, I was going to say to crank up the bit rate, but I think to give it the best chance, let's leave the bit rate at 100. It's a bright, sunny day right now, so we'll just leave it like that. Let's start recording now. And it started recording, so let's move the drone over here a little bit and turn it around. Slowly. Get you a good look at the drone here. And it kind of snapped back there. I'm watching the gimbal kind of snap around there. Yeah, there's the little drone, and you can see it's pretty stable. Obstacle avoidance is not on, so we could bring it in closer if we wanted to. I'll be honest with you, this is a drone that I don't recommend obstacle avoidance on, because it tends to cause issues with regard to the frame rate, dropping frames, and it messes with the video rate on it, compresses the video and makes it kind of comically fast. So the drone, look at you, it's moving around here a little bit. So. And there's really no wind. I'm going to pick it back up because I was afraid it was going to drop right down there. Okay, let's quit messing around and let's move this guy into position here, and we'll do a droney. So I'm going to have to kind of move to the side of where I am right now, and I'm going to wait for traffic to clear in front of me, and then we will do a droney. So yeah, probably better get this thing rolling. So let me drop the camera down, reverse, and up now. There we are. So you kind of get a look at where we're at here in the park, and the trees. And you know, there's a little picnic area right there, and we are going to, I'm going to pick that gimbal back up so that you kind of get the big picture here. There's kind of the rule of thirds, and that's the Boise front you see off in the distance there. You know, it's kind of cool to see the snow-capped mountains. And I have to tell you, things are looking really good on the FPV feed on this drone. I mean, it's looks really nice, and the nice level horizon, etc. So we're going to yaw around to the right here and show you the big, I don't know if they call it a fish pond, but it's definitely a pond. And we're kind of looking into the sun here, and what you're going to see is the ice is quickly melting off here. We've had some fairly warm days, so let's move forward here, and we'll drop some altitude as we get in closer to the fountain here. And let me see if I can get down, get a little bit closer, and we'll drop that gimbal down and see if we can do a little bit of a rotation here around the fountain. I think we can get closer than that, so we're going to get in close here, folks. There, that's about right. And let's just see if we can do a little rotation around the fountain. This is a manual rotation. I am in normal mode. I suppose I could probably stick it in film mode and be a little bit more precise, but we're doing all right here. And you see some birds there next to the pond. Some ducks, right where ducks should be. And I was focusing on the ducks and didn't keep that keep the fountain in the center, but yeah, as long as those guys don't take off while we've got the drone over the top of them, we'll be in good shape. Shucks. So anyway, so what I'm trying to do here, let's pick it up and let's go over towards, I haven't shown you this in a while. You guys have seen this park before, but I like showing the features of it. We've got this sculpture over here right next to the band shell. And we're in pretty good shape here. I don't see any people on the trails, so we can just kind of do a little half circle around, and maybe I'm going to drop the camera down a little, and let's see if we can get to the other side of the band shell here and kind of focus on that sculpture there, which is pretty cool. This band shell, it's kind of weird. You can see that where they put that canvas kind of over the top of it. So what happened here, and I'm going to gain a little bit of altitude because I know I got a hill behind me and some trees, so better safe than sorry. I think I'll be okay, but because I can't see behind me, I just figure I'll be on the safe side. So this thing faces kind of due west, so in the summertime when there's a lot of activity here, the sun is right in the eyes of the performers here in the evening. So they put up those shades there, I think, to kind of help them out. But you kind of wonder, you know, when they designed that, why somebody didn't kind of take that into consideration. But anyway, it's still pretty cool. It's kind of fun, the summer programs, you know, when they get bands and stuff out there playing. So okay, picking that gimbal back up, and let's head out across the pond. And again, we're in normal mode. Should take us to about 8 meters per second, I believe, on this guy. Not quite. And here's the other little, we might as well see if we can take a look at this fountain here as well. And see if we can do a rotation the other way around this guy. I have to tell you, I really appreciate the job that, yeah, I'm getting too much yaw there. The job that Hubsan did with the flight controls on this drone. I think they really improved it a lot. I think it looks darn good. I'm just telling you, with earlier Hubsan drones, it would have been difficult to do these kind of maneuvers. So I appreciate that they made that massive improvement. So all is good there. Let's pick it up again, and I can kind of show you the kind of the main square, I guess you'd call it. It's not really a square, but kind of, I suppose, I don't even know if you'd call it the center point, but there is the statue of Julius Kleiner there, right in the middle of the park. And what the heck? Let's. I wonder if we can zoom in on that. This thing has had trouble zooming in the past, but let's try it and see what we got. There's 2 times zoom right there, and that's Mr. Julius Kleiner. So we'll leave it on zoom there for a second while we rotate around here a little bit. You guys take a look at this. Trouble with being in zoom mode is you don't know exactly how high you are above the terrain. So let's go back out to 1 by, and we'll rotate around here just a little bit more. Kind of give you a look at this center. And of course, these trees, not long they'll be full of leaves, and you won't be able to see much here, so it's probably a good opportunity to do it. Okay, let's spin on around here, and let's pick that camera back up, and we're going to head over to the smaller pond. Back to that rule of thirds, and full stick forward, and we'll cross the road here. Let's wait for that car to go by. And now we'll time that perfect. And here we are. Here is the smaller pond here, and as you can see, the ice is definitely melting off there. So let's drop that gimbal down, and we can drop some altitude here too, and see if we can let's see if we can get in close to this thing. There we are. That's about as close as I want to be, I think. And let's rotate around. And again, mostly what we're looking for here, and we're down to 61% battery, is we're looking for video quality. Hopefully we're going to see no shakes in this video, and we're going to see just nice, smooth video. So I had a little bit of a pause on FPV there, so I think I was kind of down low, so I'm going to raise a little altitude again. And here's another one of those, and I've shown you these before. This is another one of those sculptures. There's 3 of them here in the park. I don't know if you call them a sculpture or an art installation, but let's go ahead and move forward here. And we can go over the top. One of the things about this drone, I'm looking at the CPU temp, and I realize it's colder today, but boy, it's, you know, this thing used to run really hot, and it's definitely in good shape now. So there is looking right down on top of that sculpture. That's kind of cool, isn't it? Yeah, we'll get a little bit closer there, and let's go straight up and rotate. Whoops, I did that wrong. That's a little embarrassing. What I did is I pulled on the up stick, but then I also, instead of rotating with the yaw, I banked. Yeah. So let's try that again. I know I can do better. There we go. Classic rotation move there above the sculpture, and you'll get a good look at the pond here and the surrounding area as we rise up. And what you're seeing there, kind of next to it there, is a Veterans Memorial installation. And you see a little pier there in the pond that people can fish off of, and that's the senior center right next to that. And yeah, so we're definitely high enough there. So let's go ahead and drop her back down here. And we're going to point the direction the other way as we come down. And we'll take a quick look at the Veterans Memorial here, and then we'll go over on the other side and look at the last sculpture. So there's that Veterans Memorial, and I don't see anybody there, so we can get lower. Moving forward. And let's pick up the camera here so you can see the flags. And of course you got the United States flag, the POW flag right below the U.S. flag, the state of Idaho flag on the left, and the City of Meridian flag on the right. Honors our fallen veterans from Idaho here. Okay. Well, look at that. It says USB cable not connected, so that's been a problem with this guy in the past. So the drone should go into return to home. That is not good. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and disconnect and reconnect and see if that does anything for us. And it does not. Oh, there we go, connected. There, look at that. We got it back. Okay, I don't know. That's been an issue with this drone since the first time I ever flew it. And one of the ways you get it back is to unplug and replug. Okay, so let's that's an issue, and that's, I've seen a lot of people with that problem. Brian Singleton the other day was flying his Zino Mini Pro, and he couldn't hardly get it very far in front of him without having disconnections. I don't know. It's something that Hubsan's got to get figured out, because in my mind, if you don't have confidence in your connection, you can't have confidence in the drone. So there was really no reason for that. I use an aftermarket cable. I always had problems with the stock Hubsan cables, so I find a good quality aftermarket OTG cable. In this case, micro USB to lightning cable for me. So this, you guys have seen this before in other videos. This is that third sculpture. So do another rotation around this guy. And then maybe we can head on back here. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do from here. I'm going to pick that camera up, and we'll see how much battery we've got when we get back. But I'm going to put this guy into sport mode, and let's see how quickly we can get back to us here. We got a good straight shot here over the top of a lot of nothing here. So yeah, and it's giving me a signal poor. I'm pointed right at the drone here, and now it's giving me that USB cable not connected. So I don't know where we're at here, folks. I'm going to unplug, plug back in, and see if we get something back. and it still says disconnected. And it's in return mode, and there we got it back. It's almost back here, as you can see. Okay, let's we're gonna stop that. Okay, so I stopped that, and because I want to try it out in sport mode here. So we're gonna head back out here and see how we do. We still have 38% battery, so let's see how fast we can get this guy up to in sport mode. There's 13, 4, yeah, about 13 and a half, not quite 14 meters per second. So, you know, people talk about the Autel Nano, and that its top speed is only 15 meters per second. This guy didn't do much better. Let's head it back towards us and try it one more time, and let's see. That's my Tahoe down there. So we're coming back our direction here in sport mode, and if anything, it's a little slower. So there you go. I've never heard anybody complain about the speed of this guy, and it's definitely slower than the Autel drone. Okay, so let's get this guy on the ground. I'm going to go back into just normal mode, and let's bring her down here. We'll see if we can. We'll see if I can get it on the pad here. Yeah, and it's right above me, so it's saying signal poor. We lost connection. I'm just staring right at the drone too. Come on. Yeah, so it's going into return to home. Oh man, that's ridiculous. I had the flat part of the antenna pointed right at the drone. So now it's ascending. Yeah, now we get the USB disconnected. It's ridiculous, Hubsan. And now it's kind of coming back, although it's, yeah. So it's coming down here. There, I did a manual stop there. Yeah, there we are. Hey, look at that, we got it back. I'll tell you. Trying to move it around here, folks. See if I can get it on the pad. There we go. See if it'll pick up the camera here. And it doesn't. I thought usually it picked up the camera, so it shut down FPV. So that was interesting. Let me get everything shut down and we'll do a quick conclusion. Hey, okay, the little Hubsan Zino Mini Pro. Obviously, I haven't looked at the video yet, so I don't know if there's any jello or shakes in it. You guys will have seen that already. You know, the drone, it flies great. It handles great. I like the way it flies. It's pretty stable. Now, the big bugaboo on this flight was the disconnects, right? We had several of them. And once they start, it seems like they don't stop. And you saw when we were out over the far sculpture, we had a disconnect, and what I did is I pulled the OTG cable out, plugged it back in on the lightning side, on the part that goes into my phone, and we got it back. Then, you know, a couple different times we went through that. Once when it was right above us here, coming down, and I thought I was just going to have to land it without any FPV, but we finally got all that back. So I don't know what to say, except for to say that, Hubsan, that's something you're going to have to solve. If you want people to buy this drone, you have to have confidence in the drone, and you have to know that you can fly it without disconnects, and that's just unacceptable. So we'll see what happens there. But anyway, overall, what I hope we have seen is some good, decent video out of this drone, because after all, that's why you buy a drone like this. So in any case, that's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel And most of all, I absolutely appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And of course, we'll see you on the next one. The Hubsan Zino Mini Pro.